It's Taleayah J, and welcome back to my channel. So this is a long awaited story time that I've been meaning to tell, but I was just trying to let time pass by and let me actually heal a little bit more mentally for me to tell this story, because it is a lot and I still do have triggers about this. But I'm not gonna ramble too much. I'm gonna get into it, but before I get into it, make sure you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to get back into the flow of YouTube. But first things first, I'm gonna start with the whole background to this story. So this particular weekend that this happened, I had booked a hotel room because I wanted to change scenery from my room to film like videos in a different environment, I guess, which I did end up filming. So I made a little bit of content to post, and I actually think the video is still up on my channel. If not, I probably privated it, but I did end up recording, filming like content that weekend. So I believe this was like Saturday that this happened. So prior that day, I had got invited to this yacht party. I was supposed to go with my best friend, but she ended up not wanting to go because, mind you, me and her have never ridden on a yacht or any boat of that nature because we're both scared of water. But I was ready to like finally see what it's about and just overall have a good time. So mind you, my best friend didn't want to go, so my other option was to find somebody else to go with, which I did. So the person that I invited per se, or asked to go with me, was my little sister. First off, me and my sister don't have a really close relationship because my dad has full custody of me and we both have different dads. So I didn't really grow up with her, so that's one thing. So we weren't close, but we would talk from time to time. But that's still my sister, and I wanted to like start hanging out with her, getting to know her for real, because we didn't really know each other like that because of the way we grew up separately. So yeah, I wanted to experience a relationship with her. So that day that this happened, it was April 10th, 2021 was the exact date that this happened. So this day, mind you, I'm not thinking anything of it. Like, I feel normal. You know how you would like feel that something's about to happen? I literally didn't feel like anything was going wrong with that day. I felt pretty good. So first things first, I had hit my sister up like, hey, I'm gonna come to you at so and so time. She let me know that she didn't have any sandals or whatever. So I went to the beauty supply, being a big sister, and I got her some sandals that could go with her outfit, potentially wearing. So that's my first stop that I did before heading towards her to go pick her up. Mind you, my grandma knew that I was going and everything, because at the time I lived with my grandma and my dad, so she knew that I was going somewhere. So she knew all the whole game plan, which was me going to pick up my sister. Me not knowing like areas and things like that at this time, I was I wasn't freshly 21, but I was like a few months into turning 21. So I was ready to have fun, vibe out, experience new things. So yeah, my sister at the time, she lived on the east side of LA. this was my first time ever like picking her up or knowing where she stayed, so obviously I didn't know like the type of area she lived in. But it was around 2 before 3 p.m. so you know, I'm not thinking that anything like this is gonna happen broad daylight. So mind you, this day it was like a lot of traffic. Weekends, people trying to go places, and especially if you know, LA traffic is basically from like 2 to 7. Like the traffic was so bad even on the regular residential streets, not even on the freeway. So fast forward to when I'm on my way to pick her up. I was driving there was a lot of traffic near her, and right when I was like a couple of minutes away from her, I got stuck in traffic on this main street. I'm not gonna name the street, but it was this main street. And you know, I'm listening to music, not thinking nothing of it, but I noticed like some guys talking to each other at a liquor store. So mind you, there's 2 lanes. I'm on the right lane, and then the left lane is also backed up, so I'm just basically at a standstill. And to the right of me was parked cars. So just imagine, so I see these 2 guys going back and forth, but I'm not thinking nothing of it, you know. I'm just like, all right, let me mind my business. But like I said, I was at a standstill, so to my right was already parked cars, so I couldn't move anywhere, and to my left I couldn't get over that way because there was backed up cars as well. So out of nowhere, I just remember blacking out, and I heard like shots. So the 2 guys that were getting into it with each other basically started shooting at each other. But obviously, so the liquor store is on the right of me, so I'm damn near close to the liquor store. Like I said, I'm on the right lane. There's a parked car right here, liquor store. So they're in front of the liquor store, getting into it, I guess, shooting at each other. My instinct was to duck down because, like I said, couldn't go anywhere, couldn't maneuver through any traffic. We are at a standstill, so it's not like I could have went anywhere. So first things first, I just ducked down, hoping, like, you know, that I don't get hit by anything. Boom, I ended up getting hit by a few straight bullets. Hit my car. The one that hit me came through my back seat door on the passenger side. So yes, it came through the back seat passenger side door, and it hit directly in the middle of my driver's seat. So like I said, I was turned like this, so luckily I turned that way, or I honestly probably wouldn't be here today, or I probably either would have been paralyzed. So it hit me at an angle since I was turned this way, and thankfully it only fractured my ribs, so it wasn't too bad. But mind you, when that happened, it felt like a movie to me. Like, it felt like it wasn't real. Like, I was just like blacked out, and as soon as I felt something hit me, I touched my side, and then I saw blood, and I immediately just didn't know what to do. So mind you, I'm still at the standstill, can't go anywhere. My foot is on my brake. So in this moment, when I realized I got hit, I accidentally let go of the brake, and I bumped into the car in front of me. So when that happened, and traffic started to move forward, I immediately started panicking. So what I did was, there was like this street like right here at the corner, because the liquor store was on like kind of a corner. So once I was able to move forward to turn off, which that's what I did, the person whose car was in front of me that I tapped, she had thought, it was a lady, she thought that I was trying to do a hit and run. So she basically kind of like in a sense chased me, but not really chased me, because I had pulled over once I felt like it was safe enough to figure out, you know, call 911, call my grandma, my dad. She pulled up, she thought I was trying to get away, so she got out the car. She was upset, and then she realized that I'd been hit. So she started crying, she started freaking out. She was calling the ambulance and everything like that too. I was on the phone with my grandmother at the time, telling her that I got hit or whatever. So mind you, they're on the way. She was asking me questions, and then she told me to call 911. So I did too, along with the lady. We both called because they were taking forever. I swear to you, they were taking so long. And at this time I didn't know where I got hit, I just knew that I got hit. So obviously I'm like freaking out, panicking, on the phone with the operator, 911 operator. She was basically asking me if I'm having a hard time breathing or anything like that. I say no, but at this time I'm still freaking out because I don't know exactly what to do or what's going on. So the lady whose car I hit, she stayed with me the whole time. So we were on like, what you call it, a street where houses are. So her panicking caused like neighbors and things to come outside. So basically I had like a whole crowd kind of like surrounding me in a sense, trying to figure out what had happened or what was going on. So yeah, I was surrounded by people coming out of their houses looking to see what's going on. So I swear to you, it took like 15 minutes for the police got there first. They were questioning me, asking me what happened, this and that. And then shortly after, the ambulance came. So it took around like 20 minutes or so for me to get into an ambulance to get transported to a hospital. So at this time, once the ambulance pulled up, they were trying to locate the wounds and see kind of where the bullet went that hit me, to make sure that it wasn't still inside me. So I had on this 2-piece set at the time. They had to cut it open to figure out where I'd been hit at. I had a jacket over it too, so it went through the jacket, through my clothes. So obviously I don't know, it was bad. But so about this time, after they cut my clothes off to see where I got hit at, they then like helped me onto the little gurney, because obviously it was hard for me to walk. I had a fractured spine. So they would help me onto there. And then the hospital wasn't too far away. I was just, whole time I'm in there, I'm just like, I really can't believe that this just happened to me. Like, I didn't know what to do. So my grandma and dad, they got there after I had already gotten an ambulance and everything. So I didn't get to see them before I went to the hospital. Fast forward to the ride there. I was basically kind of like calm in a sense, even though I was in pain. But it was just like, me, I hate hospitals. I hate anything that has to do with a hospital. Like, I'm just like, bro, I don't want to be here. Like, no, when I first got there, arriving to the hospital, the nurses and everything were surprised about how calm I was, because I had calmed down. So I went in there and they took me to some area, and I was surrounded by nurses, doctors, basically they gave me IV, taking, running little tests to make sure and to see like where I got hit, just in case I needed to go in surgery or anything like that, which I didn't. I'd say the worst part about this experience was the x-ray that I had to go through. So the x-ray was one of those it was a huge machine basically, and I know this is TMI, but it was a little like wand thing that they had to stick up my I don't know, behind, I guess you could say that. So they had to stick that up there, and then they put me through this machine to basically make sure that no bullet fragments or anything was still inside of me. Luckily there wasn't, so that was good. And then after that, they took me to this area where all these other people, it wasn't like, I had a separate room for anybody. It was just like a area where they had like different patients, I guess, all in one area. So I was there basically waiting to get my wounds treated or looked at. I kid you not, they had me sitting there for hours, literally bleeding out. So nobody took care of my wounds until hours later. I even got up to use the restroom, blood leaking on the floor. I hated my whole hospital experience. Like, they treated me awful. Like, first of all, the nurse that helped me closed my wound didn't even know what exactly happened to me. I had to tell them like what's really going on. And then while I was sitting there waiting for the nurse, obviously again officers came and talked to me, got as much information as I could give them from me, and then that was that. At this time it was still kind of like where COVID was still around and still serious, so they didn't allow like my dad or anybody up to see me like at all. So I was basically in there by myself. I was literally so sad, crying. I didn't have my phone for about a couple hours because when you first come in they take all your belongings, so I couldn't even tell my dad what happened, or an update of what's going on, because I didn't know where my phone was at the time. Then after that, it was basically, the sun was probably going down when I finally got my wounds tended to. So they basically stapled each wound together, and then that's that. They released me from the hospital after that, and then I went to pick up my medicine from my local drugstore. Mind you, when all this is taking place, I had already booked a flight to go to Arizona with my friends and things the following weekend after that. So I was literally debating like, should I cancel? I couldn't cancel my flight, but like, should I just not go? Or I don't know what I was thinking in that moment, but I ended up going because I was still okay to like walk and everything. Like, I had a little bit of pain like when I would stand up or even drive, but the pain wasn't like too bad, or I wasn't on really much bed rest, if you could say. So I ended up still going on my flight to Arizona. Obviously all my friends, they comforted me when I was there. So yeah, I still carried on, continued, you know, to have, I guess, fun, I'd say, after that whole traumatizing experience. I didn't really learn, I wouldn't say it was a lesson learned in this situation. It was just more so of being at the wrong place at the wrong time. But I do want to say that you make sure to let your family or somebody know like what areas that you're going in, just so that they can tell you like, hey, this is not a good area to be in. Obviously it's kind of like hard to dodge anything that's gonna happen to you, so it's kind of a little gray area there. But just, I say, make sure to let your parents know an area that is unknown from you, so that they could possibly save your life. But yes, that's it for my story time. I have more story times coming up. Just make sure to like and subscribe, because I do have a crazy life. So yeah, this is not the only story time I'll be doing on my channel, but just make sure you guys support, like, comment, share, and also subscribe. So thank you guys for watching.